Good afternoon and welcome to the channel, everyone. On this episode, we have a few announcements that Uber made actually on the pension pay, holiday pay, and the CCTV that they announced yesterday. Now, they used to pay drivers on a lump sum on the 12.7%, as they say, which that's never been the case, but let's take it from Uber's perspective. What Uber has done since 14th of March is taken that percentage and put into the fares just to make the fares look actually bigger than they are by putting that every trip money on top of the fare, just to make the fare more attractive to us as drivers. But actually the fare still exactly the same. Nothing has changed there, just another Uber manipulation to drivers and confusion. Actually, imagine you're driving and you see too many things going on in that little screen in a split second that you have to make a decision. The fare still what it was that they've done, they just put that on top of it. So that's, again, from all our point of view, is just a manipulation. And moving forward to the next one, which they just announced yesterday, it was the safety support. That they said they have a great partnership, charging drivers at $5.99 a week in the dash cameras. Uber years ago actually admitted in court that they are aware, they do know that 99.9% of the allegations made against the drivers are false and malicious, and only are done for one thing and one reason only: for a fare to be given back to the passenger. But they never willing to do anything about it. I just received the message saying that they have partnered with the car rental company, and that will benefit the drivers. We don't see any benefit to the drivers. Actually, it is really terrible thing for the drivers. Reason being is, for the amount of money they are charging drivers, there's no benefit to it. I looked into it personally myself, and let's go one by one. Can I see the dashcam footage? That's the terms they want drivers to sign. And it says they store the footage for only up to 7 days, and you can watch it 5 times free. So basically, only in 1 year, you can request to watch that footage 5 times a year. After 5 times is £25 each time you request to view that footage or request part of that footage. Now, with the amount of trips we do as all drivers, that's not benefit to it. Why Uber doesn't take that cost? Because it's their clients in the end of the day making this, not us. It's them, but we have to bear the cost when Uber calls the shots on the dashcam. There is another thing. Is there a rear facing dashcam? Unfortunately not. There's no rear facing. So when they talk about so much about safety and everything on the big message, when you read the terms and conditions of these cameras, there are no benefit at all. Another thing is the storage that they only use is 7 days. Uber has not specified if a complaint is more than 7 days old. Are they going to take that complaint from the customers? We all know Uber take complaints a month, 2 months, 3 months later. So then even the footage does not exist. So that's not beneficial to any driver for that matter. So now, even on the 7 days, when I read deep down in their terms and conditions, it says depends how long you stay in the road. And we all know, all drivers stay 10 plus hours in the road. So that even the 7 days is not guaranteed that this footage will last. Another thing is requesting to view the footage. You have to email the company with the time, date, and everything else. With this company in question, as a union, we had so many dealings with them, and they are really, really terrible company to deal with. Absolutely terrible. Because they do not live to their standards. And we have the evidence to prove that too. Another thing, are these dash cameras available to all vehicles and all the drivers out there? The question is no. If you drive certain vehicles, such as Tesla, for example, they cannot do it. And another thing is, there's no audio recordings. So to Uber, they haven't specified if there is a dash cam, would they take that into consideration? So it's so many things to consider here as drivers while you hear something coming from Uber. Because Uber will never actually tell us the real reasons behind all what they advertise and trying to sell. And another thing is, I always ask myself a question. Why Uber is pushing so much certain companies? What's the Uber's dealing with them? Personally, rather than owned by Uber, Uber has shares on them. Because Uber pushes them so much towards us drivers, certain companies, but never explains to us the terms and conditions or anything, such as everything with Uber in these days, never made clear and simple. All times there is a catch. Will you own the camera? Here's another question which I picked up on. Yes, they said after 52 payments of $5.99, you will own the camera. But they never say who will be the data controller after that. You might own the device, but who's the data controller? That is never explained to us as drivers, that yeah, you own the device, but the cloud, would we have access at all times? That hasn't been explained. So as everything else with Uber, all the times there's a catch. So I would say, look out and be careful what you sign up for, because it might be sold to all of us as a safety precaution, but actually it's not. It's not, because it's a catch. It's a catch that we'll end up paying more. Why Uber is not filling up the bill? Let's ask ourselves the question. Why Uber is not paying that bill? Uber should pay that bill. The reason being is their customers. It's not us. But we have to all the times justify our actions. But the customer that Uber is providing to us has never any need to justify themselves. They have no repercussions at all. And the most important thing is, Uber has no expense. We have all the expenses. It's a majority of consumers out there that believe that Uber owns the cars. No, it's not the case. The driver owns the car. The driver has the documents. The driver has the insurance, everything. Uber as a company, or any other company out there for that matter, owns nothing. The only thing they own is that software, and that's it. So I'll leave it here for now. Please keep an eye. Again, more videos are upcoming on more other topics and more other issues. Thank you for watching. Please follow the channel.